I will start. I promise this will go fairly quick today, so I want to give everybody plenty of time to eat through the galleries. There's food set up, as well as tour this show, and I'll tell you about the show here in a few minutes to give you some idea of what it took to get here. At first, I'd like to call Matt Hinken up. So it's become tradition, and Matt and I don't even know where it started. Come on up, Matt, it's fine. For Matt to officially bless and open up any of our new shows, right? And so Matt has always done it. He's been kind enough to do it, and I appreciate you doing it today. Thank you, Matt.
My pleasure. Thank you. And it's National Weather Person's Day, too. I didn't plan it that way, huh? Yeah. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to be here today, for your word tells us that in the beginning you created the heavens and the earth, and you created a place for us to live in it. You created everything that we do as humans, God. I just pray that you bless our time together here. Thank you for what Ripley's means to this community, and thank you for what this community means to Ripley's. Thank you for the wonderful, beautiful scenery you've transformed into just something where we can get away and enjoy and learn about the wonderful things. Believe it or not, yes, we believe. Just as we did from years ago and years past, and the Bible tells us to be strong and courageous, do not fear or be afraid. The Lord your God is with you wherever you are. May we hold that in our hearts today as we just explore this wonderful new exhibit. And I thank you for your Son, Jesus. In his precious name I pray. Amen.
So we've got a few dignitaries that I'm going to recognize, which is the part I absolutely detest and I wish we would all eliminate from doing these events, because you always forget somebody and everybody always makes the joke you forget somebody. But I will, my good mayor, my good friend Mike Werner, our mayor of Gatlinburg, is here. He'll be speaking in just a minute. Dave Jones with the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development is here. He also will be speaking. My good friend Cindy Ogle, our long-term city manager here in Gatlinburg, is here somewhere, wherever she might be. Mark Adams, the CEO and president of the Gatlinburg CVB, is also here. Wayne Helton, alderman for the city of Sevierville. Jim McGill, alderman for the city of Sevierville. Darrell Brady, our district representative for Congressman Phil Rowe, and Alan Newton, our economic development director here in the county of Sevier. Somebody else I'd like to recognize is Jay Horner and Kevin Townsend are also here with Citadel Construction. They built this show, and it's important to me because we work very, very well with those guys. And I appreciate everybody's attendance in general. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the museum after we have a welcome by a couple people right here. So stay put, and I promise it'll be short, sweet, and it'll have some good stories. But Mayor Werner, can I welcome you to the stage for a second, please?
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you everyone for being here this morning. What an amazing redevelopment. This is beautiful. And it just realized in 2020 this will be Ripley's 50th year in Gatlinburg. And it's so much of the part of the Gatlinburg experience. And we thank Ripley's for everything that they do for the community. I want to personally thank Ryan for being an advocate for Gatlinburg tourism and also so many of the benevolent things they do for the city. So we're excited about this. We think that the new facade is beautiful and much more continued success for Ripley's. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that. Normally I would make a joke about politicians being long-winded, but I was reminded the other day that I am now one, so I can't make that joke anymore, and Mike's always been good about doing that. Dave, can I welcome you up here to say a few words, if you would? Thank you. Dave Jones.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Greetings on behalf of Commissioner Mark Ezell from the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development. I understand commissioners already called and congratulated Ryan last night, so we're very excited, of course, about this. And of course, you mentioned the 50th anniversary of Ripley's being here, right? Well, Gatlinburg has a celebration coming up as well in 2020. That's the 75th birthday, am I right?
That's right.
Of Gatlinburg, so a lot to celebrate next year, but we're celebrating this year, and we're really excited to see this particular installation that's open. You know, Ripley's has been a game changer for so long, not just here, but in Tennessee and across the state and around the world, and they have such an impact in many different ways. I'm really kind of interested in seeing this exhibit, this art exhibit done with Tennessee barbecue sauce. I'm looking forward to that. But Tennessee, as you know, is really strong in tourism. We use this slogan called the Soundtrack of America, Made in Tennessee. And we're very proud of the economic growth that has happened over the past 10 years especially. And a lot of that is, well, it's due to a lot of things. First of all, world-class entertainment, world-class attractions, scenic beauty, the history, all of that is part of it. And that's what makes Tennessee a desirable place to attend. Another thing that makes it desirable are the investments that are made by people such as the Ripley's Company, Titanic's here. There's many other investors that are in Sevier County that have invested and made risk to create these experiences, and it's paid off. The other thing is the fact that, you know, some people say, well, why don't you promote your customer service and promote your Southern hospitality? And we really believe that Southern hospitality is not what brings people here, but it's what brings them back. And that's where all of us kind of fit into this. I'm really excited to see some of the other things that Ripley's has been doing, involved in this new TV segment on Saturday mornings for the aquarium, and some other things to come. And I just keep thinking, every time I think of the aquarium, Ryan, I think of how Ripley's is sort of the curator or the caretaker of a lot of different artifacts and life that is all around the world, whether it be on land or at sea. What a great responsibility that is. And that really just kind of filters down, because they could have taken all the artifacts and put them on a shelf, but they don't. We like to use a new term now called elevated. They elevate those things so that the customer can see them and enjoy them, and that's what creates that experience. But in doing the elevation, they're taking care of the customer, because the customer put the money in. That's why they're here. They're elevating customer service, and in turn, what does it do? It provides jobs. It provides jobs for those who work in restaurants, those who work in the lodging industry, the entertainment industry. What does jobs do? It creates money. It creates a way so that people who work here can take care, there's that word again, care, they can take care of those that are in their families. And the money that comes in also provides tax revenues and business revenues. And what does that do? In many ways, it not only takes care of infrastructure, but it helps us care for other people with our nonprofit organizations and various things like that. So it's a really big circle of care, starting with caregiving. And so we're all a part of tourism, right? And we're all a part of what's here in this area. So I just want to congratulate you, and let's continue to celebrate all day long, okay? Thank you very much.
You got that? I'll take that one. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that very much. I've got a few things I'm going to talk about before I release everybody to eat and go through the show, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of some of these exhibits here, because people are always interested in that. I would be remiss in not thanking my staff who has put the event together, my marketing folks, and my two assistant general managers, one of which I'm married to, Suzanne Desir and Amanda Caton. There's Suzanne right there. She's probably out. Come on up, Suzanne. You got to at least stand next to me. I know. This is the one who does all the work, by the way. All right, fair enough. Now I've embarrassed her. I will pay for that dearly. So Ripley's turns 100. Actually has turned 100 in December of 2018. So this year we are celebrating Ripley's 100th all throughout the year. We have released a lot of new books, including our special 100th year Golden Book, which you can certainly see while you're here. Really cool piece. It's got every market that we're in and the history of those markets and how we came to be. Gatlinburg is prominently featured. Our partnership with the city of Gatlinburg has been instrumental to our company's growth over the years, and I certainly would be remiss if I didn't thank Cindy Ogle for that. Where's Cindy at, exactly? She hates coming forward, but Cindy, come here real quick. I know you can do it. Come here. Cindy was absolutely instrumental, particularly in getting our aquarium to the city of Gatlinburg, and I think it's been an outstanding partnership. And Cindy, I would love for you just to say 2 kind words about Ripley's now that we're here, and maybe 4 unkind ones now that, you know, I pulled you up. Thank you.
So here's what I have to say about Ripley's. They are a fabulous company, a great corporate member of our community, and we had a great time. Actually, I shouldn't admit this in front of all these people. The last time I was in this wonderful facility was when we were planning the aquarium, and so it's been a long, good relationship, and so there's not enough that can be said about the input and the contributions of Ripley's to our community.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. I would have been remiss. She has been nothing but a godsend for our company, and I think we've done well by the city as well. But thank you very much, Cindy, on behalf of Ripley's for sure. I get asked a lot, like, how do we acquire exhibits? So I would just briefly touch on that. The answer is pretty easily. You know, when somebody does lint art, I don't know why, but they do, there's not too many people that will buy their lint art, right? So we could get it pretty easily on that front. But now when you see some of these artifacts, and art is beautiful, we have a lot of it, and this year we're celebrating our new Odd as Art book, and you'll see actually a beautiful piece behind Michael Simonis right there. That is made out of a piece of fruit wood, by the way, one piece. It's called The Devil and the Damsel. It's based on the works of Faust, and Robert Ripley himself purchased that in the 20s. But it's a really cool illusion piece carved out of a solid piece of wood. So we have a lot of things like that. And we have a lot of artifacts and a lot of Tennessee memorabilia, Dave, downstairs. You know, this is where we put it. We have a jail cell from Brushy Mountain, for example, on display here, and things like that. But people call us. We search, our managers look. We have a team at our Orlando office that is always on the hunt, and it's not as hard as you might think, but we're always searching for new things. So if you have something, let one of us know, because chances are we want it, because we have a lot of places to fill up. And our Orlando office is really cool, and I always equate it to you know, the end scene of the Indiana Jones movie, right? Where they're putting the Ark of the Covenant on a shelf. That is very Ripley's when you see that. We have this ever-revolving exhibitry in our Orlando warehouse where we go down and take a look and say, hey, that'd be great for Gatlinburg. And, you know, it doesn't do any good if it's in a warehouse. We need it out where people can see it. So we've got a few pieces in here when you go through that I'd like to highlight. Mr. Ito, super creepy by the way, he carved that statue out of 2,000 pieces of wood, very Norman Rockwell-like. He did it with a mirror, dovetailing the wood together very neatly, and then he covered his body with plaster of Paris, painted it, and presented it to his girlfriend. But what makes it extra creepy and extra cool is he took out all of his hair, fingernails, toenails, and teeth and put them on the statue, which is what you see right there. So that makes it from creepy to Ripley's, I guess, would be the very exhibit there. So pay attention to Mr. Ito for sure. Behind us here we have one of the world's only shrunken torsos. So we have a lot of shrunken heads, but very few shrunken torsos. This is the only one the company has, and I don't know if there's many in existence, but you'll see that right behind here as well. There is a Fabergé egg, a real Fabergé egg, on display in our space gallery, just a few galleries from where you're standing right now. And what makes this Fabergé egg super cool is that we have a microfilm of a Bible that went on the Apollo 14 mission. So it's inside. You know, a lot of times the Fabergé eggs have little golden carriages inside, but we have a microfilm in ours, and it's really a very neat piece. A couple other highlights of this show. First time in our history here that we have built a changeable gallery. So there is one gallery that will constantly switch out all the time. It is currently filled with sculptures. He's a micro sculptor called Walter Wiggins, and what's really neat about him is using a little microscope, he could carve on the head of a pin very beautiful works of art, and we have many of them on display in a microscope here for you to see, and Ripley's has his whole collection. So those will eventually go away, go to a different museum, and then we'll be getting other things. So perhaps soon we'll be getting the Marilyn Monroe dress, the world's most expensive dress that Ripley's owns as well. So there's a lot of cool things and a lot of things in store for our 100th anniversary. I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention our aquarium for just a few minutes. You know, years ago when we were building our aquariums, we were always curious, do we put Ripley's on it or not? Well, people always think we have just four-eyed fish on display, and that kind of thing. And we, as Ripley's does, barreled right into it and put it on there. And indeed, we do have four-eyed fish, by the way, but that is not the bulk of our collection. We have some of the world's most beautiful sand tigers there as well. And our new changeable display this year will be called the Savage Seas. So you will be getting a notice on that, and we shut the doors on the old one today to build the new one, as a matter of fact. So the Savage Seas is coming. Absolutely beautiful exhibit encompassing 3 galleries this year. So you will see that very, very soon. As we wrap up here, I wanted to mention 2 other pieces, and Dave touched on one of them, which is our new Earth Odyssey show every Saturday morning we have with Dylan Dreyer. That features our aquariums. We have 13 episodes from Gatlinburg, 13 episodes from Myrtle Beach, and 13 episodes from our Toronto aquarium as well. So they are filmed on location, and then you will see those every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on NBC. But not to be outdone, we have a new Ripley's Believe It or Not TV show coming on the Travel Channel this year, hosted by our very own Bruce Campbell, who did The Evil Dead, which is perfect all the way around. But he will be hosting that, and it'll be on the Travel Channel, showcase oddities from around the world. Everything you would expect from a Ripley's Believe It or Not TV show will be coming out. So it's a big year for us. We've saved a lot for our 100th. I hope you enjoy it. Traditionally, everybody will run away. I totally understand that. They've got another place to go, and I'm going to wrap this up here in about 1 second. But I want you all to try to go through if you can. There's food in the other galleries. There's a lot of artifacts that you won't see anywhere else. And most people say, I've been in Ripley's. It's been a while, but I've been in there. This show is 100% redone. It's brand new. We only kept 10 exhibits. So everything else is, there's 490 new ones in here. So you definitely want to check it out. This is the Ripley's Travel Gallery. This is where people start. Talks about Robert Ripley and his travels. Next is Human Oddities. And then you move on to our Space Gallery where the Fabergé egg is. And then the Wiggins Gallery where all the miniatures are on display, all on this floor. So you definitely want to check that out. I want to thank everybody for coming. Please help us in celebrating our 100th anniversary this year in 50 in this great Gatlinburg city here, because we have been nothing but happy to be here. And thank you so much for coming out. Thank you.